How do we find rest when everything around us says to hustle? That's what we're going to talk about today on Everyday Design as I review the book, The Rest of God by Mark Buchanan. And as you can see, this book has some pretty good wear. Had it for about a decade, read through it quite a few times. And really the core idea of the book is that we're created for a rhythm of rest. And the title, The Rest of God, has a double meaning, and that if we don't experience the rest that God gives us, the peace, the rest, that space of rest, then we don't experience the rest of God, meaning who He is and knowing Him more deeply and intimately. The book really addresses both the need for a rhythm, a consistent rhythm of rest, but also a posture of rest that comes from practicing that rhythm of rest. So those concepts they're woven out. They're not sequential or linear, but they're woven throughout the book. And the book, though, is structured on really a sequential two steps in resting. The first being stopping, and the second being practicing. So by stopping we mean stopping. It's pretty straightforward. But stopping to make space so that we can redeem rather than waste time. And each chapter, the subtitle of the chapter, begins with the word stopping. So things like stopping to find what's missing, stopping to find my center. And so to rest really it requires us to cease something, to quit doing something. And that can be difficult because in the modern life, there's just this frenzy and this pace that tells us we got to do more and do more and do more. And so stopping can actually be really difficult. It sounds easy, but it's not. But it's necessary in order for us to embrace what really gives life. And that's where the practices come in, where each chapter is telling us one thing we need to stop, then it's providing, though, a way to rehearse through a practice or a liturgy, a way to rehearse a new way of living. And I think that's where it takes a concept that can seem maybe mysterious or difficult to get, like Sabbath, and to see it as like, okay, I'm going to stop doing this and I'm going to practice and I'm going to rehearse living in this way so I can live anew. And I think it makes the concept really accessible. The book itself is pretty accessible. It's easy to read. It's not a book, though, that you want to just plow through. I think that would kind of miss the point. But instead, read each chapter, then go for a walk, talk with a friend, take a nap if you need to, but to let it kind of metabolize and soak in. Because the essence of Sabbath really is paying attention. It's being fully present, fully awake in each moment. And that resonated hugely with me. And I think that's one of the reasons I've returned to the book so many times, is because that's the kind of life I want to live. I want to be fully present. And so if that's where you find yourself, if you're in this pace, this volume of our current culture and our world around us, you're like, man, I want to be more attentive. I want to be more engaged. I want to be more present with the people and the moment that I'm in. I would recommend this book, The Rest of God by Mark Buchanan. It provides that rest that really does redeem and restore.